once against Torino. Totti likewise will be expected to win this game, a game they normally win, a game really they need to win, Clive, to stick on the coattails of Juventus, who had an extraordinary day earlier on today.
Yep, keep the pressure on Juventus. Home form that has been impeccable for Roma in Serie A. Played 5-1, 5-4, 11, no goals conceded, Jonathan.
Torino defending the goal to your left in this first half. Quagliarella up front, joined by Farnerud earlier on there, wearing 8, playing in a surprising attacking position. I didn't quite expect that. It looked very much as if they'd have a centre-back 3 with Maksimovic, Glik and Moretti, with Gazzi, Vives and Farnerud in front of them. Darmian and Bruno Perez pushing forward, but look how far Farnerud is up the pitch, Clive.
Yeah, surprising start from Torino, taking the game to Roma. You would have expected a much faster start. Obviously recovering from the 2 defeats against Bayern Munich, but back to business tonight. You would expect Roma to dominate this game.
Yanga-Mbiwa, from Newcastle, won that initially. Here's Gervinho looking for Totti. It comes to the heart of the midfield, so to Keita. Just speculation that he might lose out to Nainggolan tonight. Nainggolan on the bench. Gervinho to the edge of the penalty area. Came on in Munich. And here's Farnerud. And you remember his older brother Pontus, who also played for Sweden. And fouling Mapu Yanga-Mbiwa on loan from Newcastle. It didn't really happen for him last season.
But Mbiwa showing that great strength, body strength, to hold off the forward player, getting himself across the line of the ball and drawing the free kick.
Just to get back in the French team, actually born in the Central African Republic, the on-loan defender is Keita. Done so much in his career. Farnerud in a deeper position there. Roma have the star names from this summer's World Cup, Greek internationals like Torosidis and Manolas in the side. Ashley Cole with his great experience, of course. Totti, one of the greatest names ever in Italian football, second highest Serie A scorer ever. Torino, Clive, the team, they've got Quagliarella up front, but apart from that, and the emerging Darmian as they look for Quagliarella on the edge of the penalty area and outraces Sanctis. Team of journeymen pros, really.
Yeah, that's right, almost thrown together and inconsistent with the results, relies so much on that goal-scoring ability of Quagliarella. But for me, a mighty difficult task here tonight. The history books don't favour Torino coming into this cauldron here, the Olympic Stadium in Rome.
Sold off Immobile and Chetchi. A lot of players came in the summer. 12 new faces. It's launched high. A great cross from Bruno Perez, one of the players brought in and just after the deadline, actually, or just signed on the deadline. Transfer completed shortly afterwards. And he knows it's a big night for him. He needs a victory. The Roma manager under pressure to keep the pressure up on Juventus above him.
Absolutely. You can see, I think, from the expression on his face in this opening 4 minutes that he's a little surprised, maybe with the offensive nature in which Torino have come here. I think probably thinking that Roma may be just having some after effects from that Bayern defeat in the week, although themselves travelled and lost in Helsinki. They've got absolutely nothing to lose here tonight. You would hope that they go for it, maybe. Found
themselves in the Europa League. They finished just outside qualification last season. But Parma were thrown out due to an unpaid tax bill. Torino promoted in their place. And they've struggled historically on this ground in recent years. 7 wins in 8 for Roma against them. Pjanic. Totti in support. Didn't play well at Napoli. Was substituted. Not included in Munich. Gets the cross in though, and it's scooped not very well by Ljajic.
And that's a chance, Jonathan, because they really play well on the right-hand side there. Pjanic and Totti driving that ball into the 18-yard box. Ljajic trying to sweep it into that far post, goes underneath the ball, lifting it high and wide, but good build-up down that right-hand side.
Couple of goals for Ljajic this season, 5 starts for him. Quagliarella himself back in the Italy squad this season after 3 years. I wonder if Torino started as offensively as this because they watched tapes of that Roma defeat at Napoli where they started so poorly. They were a goal down after 2 minutes. They never really got into the game.
I'm sure that the homework's been done, and Ventura, the coach, will have looked at that. Maybe just saw a possibility that if his side were bold, were brave from the start, that they could maybe just catch Roma out. Roma expected to win, as we're saying, with this fantastic record against Torino, so why not try something different? Why not try to surprise Roma? And that may well be the case, that they've gone about it in this manner in the early stages.
Gillet, the Belgian international goalkeeper for Torino, just got a shot of him there. Back in the game after a ban for match fixing. We should be able to play out now. Expected El Kaddouri, the Moroccan international, wearing 7 to play further up in support of Quagliarella, but there's Farnerud again, you can see.
They pushed him higher up on the left-hand side, maybe just a case of thwarting the threat from the right-hand side that Roma possess. But certainly 1 or 2 little surprises in the early stages implied by Ventura.
5-2, and then a line of 3. They're certainly defensive enough now. Ljajic pinged it in, parried away by Gillet. He's kept 2 clean sheets in a row in the league. Totti, Keita, Totti again, 1-0! Torosidis up from the back, well worked, good goal, Roma lead.
And we saw early signs down that right-hand side that Roma could provide potential chances. And just 7 minutes in, the right-back Torosidis finds himself in the 18-yard box. It's a whipped-in cross from the right-hand side from Totti. And Torosidis brilliantly side-foots into the bottom corner. The pace is on the cross. He just has to get the direction right. The contact is perfect. In at that near post, beats Gillet, 1-0 Roma.
Had a very decent World Cup with Greece in the summer. It's his first of the season, doesn't get many in his career. 6 times a champion in Greek football with Olympiakos. And in Serie A, trying to keep Roma within contact of Juventus for this title.
And Jonathan, as a coach now, the Torino coach, your best laid plans have just been blown apart in his first 10 minutes. 1 down, and now, how do you go about getting back in this game? Do you continue in the same vein? Do you change it tactically now? But for me, it was the first concerted spell of pressure from Roma, and they've made it count.
Ashley Cole to Gervinho, the former Arsenal connections. Gervinho being chased back there by Bruno Perez. And foul by Ashley Cole and Totti and Roma. It was Totti with the foul. Just thinking, Clive, Juventus had 7 against Parma today, a couple for Llorente, a couple for Carlos Tevez, a couple for Morata there. And it could be a heavy scoreline on the evidence of what we've seen in the opening 9 minutes here.
Well, there's an opportunity, isn't there, for Roma, I think, with this fantastic home form that they have. The confidence must be high. There's nothing better than an early goal. You can see here, they're on the offensive again.
Gervinho. Pjanic. He's a gifted player, as the Bosnian. So too is Ljajic, the enigmatic Serb. Kaddouri. by Totti again, and a yellow card.
And I've got to say the referee's right there, because just a minute before, Totti committed exactly the same challenge, tackling from behind. You can see here, it's late, it's naughty from Totti. The referee's absolutely right. And for a man of his experience, he can't be saying it's the first one either. Two in a minute, and he deserved that yellow card.
This is a game at Atalanta before they play CSKA. They beat them 5-1 at home, by the way, CSKA Moscow. And they're looking to rattle them in tonight. Gervinho. Torino not getting tight enough on him at the moment. Ljajic. Rossi rather stumped his toe as he went to make the pass. Moretti, 33, very experienced, and his 8th club now, champion with Juventus. That 1-0 with Fiorentina and in Spain. Maksimovic, the Serb, the new Vidic. He was dubbed once upon a time, hasn't quite worked out that way for him. Been in the international side since 2011-12. Here's Alessandro Gazzi. On a push. Free kick won by Fabio Quagliarella. 6 goals in his last 10 games. Maksimovic. Farnerud. Quagliarella with a spin. And Sanctis needed the good save.
Well, as soon as the ball came to his feet, Jonathan, you knew he was looking to try to create the opportunity to strike. And he does really well, Quagliarella, on the edge of the box, because he's got his back to goal. He spins onto that left foot, and he tries that curling, left-footed shot into the far corner. Well tipped over by the goalkeeper, because it was on target. And that's really the first threat that Torino have been able to show.
Maksimovic in there, Quagliarella. Also, Garcia went to the near post. Farnerud. Torosidis, the goal scorer, with the block. Still in play, is it? No. Only 3 away points for Torino so far, 4 scored in 4 away games. Rossi tidies up.
And how many times have we said that about De Rossi? That's why he's in the team. He does such a fantastic job just mopping up. Situation, the ball's played into the box. De Sanctis is not happy with that, I don't think, but there was De Rossi coming back. You see here, making sure, as the shot goes in, that is goal-bound. De Sanctis just making sure he eases it over. But De Rossi's important. Sometimes goes unnoticed, Jonathan, but fantastic the way he protects that back four, just mopping up little pieces in between defenders.
Never been beaten against Torino, Morgan De Sanctis. He's conceded 11 goals this season in 10 games, but when you consider 7 of those were scored by Bayern against him in the single game, he's had a very steady start to the campaign.
You'd like to say you wouldn't count them, but they are Champions League goals against, and knowing goalkeepers, they don't like to concede any, but certainly they've got a fantastic record so far at home this season, having conceded none, and that's exactly what they will want to protect this evening.
A lot of these Torino players have never been on the winning side against Roma, and that will be at the back of their minds perhaps now. Here's Maksimovic, he's one of them. Glik, Polish international. Someone from Palermo. Farnerud, Swedish international.
Well, Jonathan, after the bright start from Torino, they certainly went on the offensive right from the kickoff. All of a sudden now they're finding it very difficult to make progress. Roma have their shape. They're saying, can you play through us? And at the moment, Torino are finding it very difficult. No passing avenues to go in. Roma keeping it very, very tight.
Perez getting forward though progressively here, and he's forced the corner of Ashley Cole, who had such a dreadful night in that 7-1 drubbing here by Bayern.
Well, sometimes that's what you need, Jonathan, just someone to take take it by the horns and just attempt to create and draw defenders out. Make sure that you take people on with some confidence.
Rossi again had to tidy up because Roma switched off there, and Kaddouri got the chip in. Would have seen Farnerud out there alongside, or not, I shouldn't say alongside, he would have been alongside him in midfield, but on opposite sides to Nainggolan to compare the tattoos. Fair amount of body artwork for the pair of them.
And Nainggolan tops it off with a tremendous hairstyle as well.
Much travelled Torino coach, Gianpiero Ventura, 18 jobs in 33 years. That's the Italian way. They have a head coach or a manager in a job as long as Sir Alex Ferguson was at Manchester United, or Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. It's just unheard of in Italian football.
Yeah, it doesn't happen, and you just wonder, with a coach who's had so many teams, and obviously he's been seen to be implying certain tactics with certain teams. I think sometimes there's nothing that he can surprise you with. People know what he does, how he goes about it, because he's worked with so many people now.
De Rossi in his space for the 30-year-old. Only Totti has played more games for Roma. Roman-born De Rossi. Gervinho. Ashley Cole getting forward. Here's Perez. Showed too much of it there to De Rossi. Keita plays it back to him. Totti is out wide. Roma's most famous Roman. And a chance here for a run and shot at goal by Ljajic. Kaddouri. He's done well. Quagliarella onside, and he got the shot away. It's really poor defending from Roma to allow a break to go that far.
Well, they had good controlled possession in the Torino half, just on that halfway, inside the halfway line, and within a fraction of a second, they've let three people run forward. Quagliarella with the opportunity to strike. At least he got it on target and made De Sanctis have to be smart down to his right-hand side.
Free kick for Roma. Farnerud's foul on Torosidis.
No offside, as we see, when the ball's played forward and the shot on target, as you would expect from a striker with the form that Quagliarella's in at the moment.
Yanga-Mbiwa showed no urgency getting back there with him at all, really.
Well, I was about to say, John, and it's as if because of that opening goal and Roma in control of this game, that they've just sort of taken their foot off the accelerator a little. Quite comfortable and just going through the motions a little. Just maybe have to be careful. Could get caught on the counter, as we saw just a few minutes ago.
Applause from the Stadio Olimpico for Yanga-Mbiwa that time. Totti around the corner. Torosidis. Ljajic is outside him. Totti wants it again. Was that a run perhaps to open it up for Pjanic? Gervinho foul.
That's good work from Gervinho. He closes Glik down very, very quickly. And Glik inadvertently pulls his right arm away from him, spins him round, but in a dangerous position. You expect the man Totti, Pjanic. Lots of possibilities here for Roma.
Gillet. And they kept a clean sheet against Roma. This is his 10th game against them. And sadly for him, he's maintained that record.
We know Pjanic loves him, Jonathan, but I'm not so sure whether Totti's going to pull rank here. I think he'll want it himself. It's in such a great position because just that distance far enough outside the 18-yard box to be able to get it up and over that wall and down under that crossbar. And if there's an exponent of that type of free kick, it is this man, Pjanic.
Been on for half an hour at Bayern. Pjanic. Let's see if he's going to have a go. Totti closing in on a remarkable 300 goals for the club in all football. 7 away. Could do with a magic spray, couldn't they? It's going to be Miralem Pjanic. Oh! Bar still rocking. Great effort. Rossi. Played forward by Manolas. Cole. Gervinho. Roma working the ball quickly. And Ashley Cole lost his footing and slipped in and committed a foul.
Well, we talked about Pjanic and his ability from the free kick situation. As we see Ashley Cole going in, taking... This is the way to get the ball up and over that wall, but just wouldn't come down quick enough for Pjanic, as a goalkeeper desperately trying to cover the shot, but nowhere near it. Very unlucky.
Hasn't scored in 6 weeks, the Bosnian. Quagliarella. Gervinho took his eye off the ball. Bruno Perez. Really isn't good defending again by Roma. Yanga-Mbiwa got it away, but Gervinho wasn't really focused. Ashley Cole wasn't focused.
Well, it was a catalogue of errors, because Gervinho literally just switched off, let the ball go under his boot, out wide, and then Ashley Cole was too slow coming out to stop the cross.
Handed away by Manolas, the 6'2.5" Greek defender. Shows you what a World Cup can do for you. Clive, a free kick here and a yellow card against Quagliarella. Manolas, his value has virtually doubled since a good World Cup for Greece in Brazil.
I'm not surprised, Jonathan, and he was one that, having watched the World Cup, I was surprised that there were no Premier League clubs that were certainly interested in him. He seemed to be the robust type of centre-half who loves to defend, and I think there's a number of Premier League teams that could certainly have done with his services. But Rudy Garcia was the man that acquired him, and hence Roma have no goals against at home so far this season.
Pjanic. Torosidis. He's in there again, the goal scorer. They tried to find him. It's a mistake between Manolas and Rossi. Good pace by Kaddouri. He stuck to it. Kostas Manolas, the 23-year-old defender.
And that's what we're talking about, Jonathan. It was a slight mistake, but all he's intent on doing is recovering. Good pace to recover, and then a great time tackle to knock it away for a throw-in. Nothing pretty, but good defending.
Everton wanted him in January 2012, but he turned down any overture to stay at AEK Athens. Big AEK fan. His uncle Stelios was a legend there. He scouted him for the club, and he only left in the end because of their financial situation, and left very famously in Greece with tears in his eyes. Don't know how much theatre there was about that, and drama and soap opera about that, Clive, but it was a sad old day for him, it seemed.
I'm sure there was a little sadness, but he has moved on to bigger things, you'd have to say.
A bigger wage packet, no doubt. Perez is getting forward. Bruno Perez getting forward well. The right-hand side. Midfield 5. Kaddouri. Haven't seen a lot of Giuseppe Vives. They're 20 so far. Bruno Perez with a cross into the middle.
I tell you what, Jonathan, we've seen plenty of Perez, and he's causing Ashley Cole's 1 or 2 little worrying motors down that right-hand side.
Moretti wins it back. Quagliarella's head on to Farnerud. An easy claim for Morgan de Sanctis. Ashley Cole now 35. I wonder if the Roma manager, has to have a rather painful decision to make and That must be as painful for a manager, Clive, as it is perhaps for the player when you turn around and say, your time's up.
Very difficult. It's the most difficult thing as a player, but there's no doubt that you do realise, Jonathan, that you just can't do the things that you used to. But for any manager, when you're dealing with a world-class player, as Ashley Cole has been consistently over so many years, that also is a very, very big call from the manager.
And in 5 major finals for England, Ashley Cole. 107 caps. Roma lead Torino, 25 minutes gone. International break coming up for you. Yanga-Mbiwa. And then on Saturday, the 22nd of November, Lazio against Juventus. That'll be a right old tear-up. And so Atalanta next up for Roma on their travels. They haven't been as effective on their travels. Torino against Sassuolo on the Sunday. All these games after the international break. And the Milanese derby. Another one to relish for you right here. Juventus moved to 28 points with that 7-0 win over Parma earlier. Roma have 22. Torino find themselves in 12th. Roma look for Gervinho. Glik is there in front of him. Torosidis again making the run into the boxes. Gervinho with a little give and go. Play back to Keita. 2-0. Saw the gap, went for it, and drilled it in.
Well, I think he's almost surprised himself with the quality of the finish, but there was so much quality about the build-up. Roma in complete control from the initial ball down the right-hand side of the penalty box that Gervinho collected and then just fed back. Couple of short passes before Keita gets the ball. Left-footed control and then through the defender's legs. How many times you see that? But fired in, low, hard, bottom corner. No chance for Gillet. 2-0 Roma.
It's his first goal since he scored for Valencia against Almeria after a club record 9 seconds last season. His first for Roma. He has been an unsung but remarkable footballer over the years. Having won World Club Championships, Champions League, Liga titles with Barcelona when he was in his pomp, but he was a trophy winner at Sevilla, Lorient in France as well. Here's Gervinho. Torino need to dig in deep, otherwise it could be a rout, and that was so close to a third.
It was Pjanic with a shot, a mistake defensively again by Torino. You just wonder, at this stage of the game, coming up to the half-hour mark, how much do Roma want to really put Torino to the sword here, Jonathan? They are playing with 2 or 3 gears that they could change up into, and if they did, what could they do to this Torino side?
They were improved in the second half at Napoli in their last league game. That's a great effort by Pjanic and very well dealt with by Jean-Francois Gillet. But in the first half, they were off. It's chalk and cheese, Clive. They've been terrific here tonight, Roma.
Yeah, without being put under too much pressure, and I think there was confidence coming into the game in terms of the history in this particular fixture. But for me, the way Torino have gone about it, especially since that first goal went in, it's almost been a damage limitation exercise. And this could be anything for Roma. If they really wanted to do the job right, they could rack up some goals here this evening.
Well, you could see the concern etched on the face of Giampiero Ventura, the 66-year-old coach of Torino. He was appointed in June 2011. He took them back into the top flight of Italian football. He's had 3 years at the club. 4 years is his longest spell anywhere, and that was at Entella back in the 80s. Bruno Perez looks to be a decent signing. Alessandro Gazzi, a player who has been banned in his career for sporting fraud, I think it was called. Here's Totti, Gervinho to the left. Goalkeeper narrows the angle. Gervinho took the extra touch, and the chance went wide. Ljajic coming in.
Well, when Totti releases Gervinho down the left-hand side, I wonder whether he can strike it with the left. He tries to open his body up, tries to get it on his favoured right boot to wind it back in the far side. It really was, again, a glorious opportunity for Roma on the counter.
It's a goal kick, but I think Gervinho may feel that Gillet got a touch there. Don't know.
It was so sloppy from Torino centrally. And then all of a sudden, Totti breaks a challenge and he's at the heart of that Torino defence. It's a good chance for Gervinho. Maybe we've done the goalkeeper a disservice, and he may well have just got a touch to it as the shot went in. But again, a glorious chance for Roma to extend this lead.
Yanga-Mbiwa back to Daniele De Rossi. The highest capped Roma Italian international in Roma's history. 98 caps now for Italy. His appearances for them limited these days. Just the one international for Italy this campaign, for the 2006 World Cup winner.
But Jonathan, he's a man with time and space that can make things happen. Just little touches like that. When he's pressured physically, he's not as strong and as quick as he used to be. But given time and space, he's such a wonderful player.
And back by Pjanic, Totti, Gervinho's in the middle, Ashley Cole in there as well. Torosidis coming in.
Jonathan, they're nearly all in there. The Roma players, time and time again now, are full of confidence.
That's De Rossi. Keeper again had to be busy, reacting smartly, getting down to his left. Gillet, the 35-year-old goalkeeper. He's rolled back the years a couple of times tonight as well with some saves.
Well, it's De Rossi with a left foot strike, and Gillet's going to be in for a busy night, the way this is unfolding. It seems to be a shoot on sight policy now from Roma. And Gillet's made two fantastic stops, one there from De Rossi and an earlier one from Pjanic, who's also struck the bar with that free kick. So you can see how dominant it's been for Roma.
Got his form back quickly after his long spell out of the game. Gillet, he's played their last 8 games now. Totti, no pressure on him at all. To me, Clive, Torino came into the game with scant belief. They had the day less to prepare. Plan A was to try and get something early, fall back on that defensive rear guard, and really, there wasn't a plan B.
There wasn't a plan B, and as soon as the opening goal went in, then really they had no other option. It almost became a damage limitation operation from that stage. Roma adding the second, and you just wonder what they could do here this evening.
Yanga-Mbiwa moved to France as a toddler in the Central African Republic. Picked up here by Ljajic. Rumours that he wouldn't be a Roma player in 2014-15. Abounded last season. Bruno Perez. Oh, and a mistake, a misunderstanding between Gervinho there, and I think it was Pjanic. Quagliarella, Torino's best player by a mile. Looking there for Matteo Darmian, and we've seen very little of the Italian international. Kaddouri glanced out wide to see if Darmian was available. He wasn't really showing for him, was he? In the cross plucked easily out.
He was behind the defender, Jonathan, wasn't he? He had no opportunity to just needed him to give him an angle, just to roll the ball into his feet and then give him a chance to cross the ball. But at the moment, you can see there's a real lack of confidence in the Torino side. They're not working for one another off the ball, which is so important if you're going to try and keep possession against a team like Roma here in the Olympic Stadium.
The Italians I spoke to in Brazil in the summer were saying that Darmian was a bright light for them in an otherwise dismal World Cup campaign, but he's not playing well here tonight.
Well, I think he was positive, wasn't he? He was ambitious, he got forward, and all of a sudden the Italians enjoyed the performances he gave and is probably surprised by it. But you haven't seen, if anything, of him this evening.
And his competitive debut against England in those finals. Gervinho, Keita. Trying to spin his way through and create in the box. But nothing came in the way of Ljajic.
Well, it was really clever because it was only that as he spun and rolled round on top of the ball that it just popped away from him. If that would have stayed within a yard or so of his feet, he may well have got a shot off on target.
Kaddouri, Farnerud. Bruno Perez. Totti back there with him, still preparing to work then. In his 39th year. He's been a first-team player for 22 of those. I think we should enjoy Totti while we can. And there's a chance for Quagliarella. He's offside.
Yep, just a fraction offside. You can see he makes the run. Manolas just holds his run himself, tracking him as the ball's played. It's good defending.
There's our friend we were talking about, Nainggolan, with the tattoos and the tinted Mohican. An abrasive character. He's enjoyed these games against Torino in the past, Nainggolan. 5 meetings, 4 yellow cards.
On the evidence of what's happened in the 36 minutes we've seen so far, he'd love nothing more than to get out there and get involved in this game, because he is one that likes to get forward into the box as well, and he would probably sense there'll be opportunities here tonight the longer this game goes on.
Keita and Rossi both in their 30s now. Pjanic, Ljajic, Totti. Oh, he went for the chip. It would have been lovely.
Brilliant vision, because as soon as the ball comes into his feet, his first touch is out of his feet to give him the opportunity. He sees where Gillet is, and for me, Jonathan, if that's on target, that causes the goalkeeper a big problem. Great vision from Totti, just couldn't quite execute it.
The man once likened by Trapattoni to the great artist Vincent van Gogh, Francesco Totti. Onside this time. Oh, Kaddouri. Oh, how about that? But the flag is the assistant's instruction. They flag when a player becomes active. At which point, Clive, is this player not active?
And at which point did the assistant believe that he was offside? Now, it could only be when he actually got to the ball, because when the ball's played, it was a close call, and he then took 5-6 strides, the assistant, before he decides to raise the flag. I tell you what, Jonathan, that is so frustrating for strikers and coaches standing on the touchline when they see things like that happen.
Torosidis, Ljajic. Roma. Can't say totally dominant, because Quagliarella is a threat. Keita. Pjanic back to him. There's Yanga-Mbiwa. Sometimes not too sure of his sure-footedness. The player on loan from Newcastle. Rossi. Look at Gervinho. What a pass outside of the boot. Just dropping deep.
Just why didn't Gervinho attack the ball? It was outside of the boot from De Rossi, brilliantly into his path. If he attacks the flight of that ball, Gervinho, he's just got to literally get a boot on the ball. It's a yard outside the 6-yard box. It was a brilliant pass.
Just saw a glimpse of the Roma bench there. They will be boosted by the imminent return, it seems, of Kevin Strootman. The Dutch international hasn't played since a cruciate injury against Napoli in March. He was due back in December, so he's ahead of schedule. Here's Gervinho. Pjanic Finds Keita, his Totti. Some say he was left out in Munich as a slap on the wrist because he was disappointing in Napoli. I think the manager was cute to rest him and bring him back for this. Here's Keita. Flick back by Pjanic. Rossi on the drive. Gervinho has worked hard. Looks such a better player in Rome than he did in London with the Arsenal. And there's Ashley Cole, who won 2 league titles in the Cup with Arsenal. De Rossi. Quagliarella battling for it.
The task is going to be an uphill one for Torino, even from this position, but they cannot afford another concede one more goal, because I think that would just about wrap the game up for Roma. So they have to get into half-time with just a 2-goal deficit, if that's possible.
And they're heading for a 4th away defeat in a row in all competitions. They've only won twice away from home this season in 8 games in all competitions. The campaign with a very good winner at Bromma in Sweden, helping them to qualify through for the Europa League, where they've started well. A couple of wins against Copenhagen and HJK, a draw in Bruges. And they lost in Helsinki on Thursday night 2-1. Bruges, their next European adventure. Before that, Sassuolo next week, or the week after next, I should say. Rossi, Keita.
Look how they dropped away though, Jonathan. Look, no pressure on the ball. Roma can completely dictate the tempo of this game now.
Seems to me a question of what Roma want to do with the game from this point in. That's one back by Gazzi. I think for Torino it will be, as you pointed out, damage limitation. They seem to have absolutely no sense of adventure or optimism.
There's no plan at the moment. You can see they're dropping away. They're scared to go in and even press because Roma play easily around them.
Problem, it seems, Roma are Kaddouri. The substitution will be made, and this man will be familiar to West Ham United supporters, Antonio Nocerino. But it's Vives who goes off. Not got in the game at all. Nocerino was on loan at West Ham last season, a couple of starts there. On loan at Torino this season, has had a couple of starts again. Didn't seem to be in the game right from the start, the 34-year-old midfield player Vives. Totti. Torosidis. That's disappointing. They're clearly asking Vives what was wrong with him in the dugout.
And he had his sock down, and he looked like he might well have taken a kick to the calf or the lower leg area, but he was very, very quickly substituted.
Farnerud. Ricocheted off him in the end.
Good tackle, Manolas.
You're liking him, aren't you?
I just like the way he defends. For me, first and foremost, he's a defender. He wants to make tackles, he wants to win the ball, he doesn't want to do anything clever other than keeping the ball out of his net. As we see that fine strike by Keita. And then Totti's ball in, and it's the right back, Torosidis. I think his teammates can't quite believe that the right back was there, but it was a really accomplished finish. Manolas may be taking a knock when he's made that challenge on the edge of the box, Jonathan, just hobbling away from the situation at the moment.
Nainggolan watching on. Roma, well, several players injured at the moment. Borriello and Maicon missing. Holebas, who was injured in Munich. Astori, he's been out for a while. Balzaretti hasn't played for a long time. And Gervinho nearly getting in there.
And you just cannot allow Totti to have the time and space that, again, Torino afforded him. Because all he would do is just pick people out, pick passes out. And that, again, was just a fraction away from Gervinho getting on the end of a brilliant pass from that man.
And a masterclass.
Just pushed the ball in between the two central defenders of Torino for Gervinho to attack. But you've got to get pressure on him, Jonathan. You can't allow a player of his ability just to be dictating the game.
Let's see how Manolas is here. He allowed Quagliarella to get the turn and the shot away, well wide. He's always looking to do something.
He keeps going, and full credit to him, because it's going to be, I think, a very frustrating evening for him. Chances are going to be few and far between. But he is a man who will be concentrating right to the end, looking for just a little bit of hope.
Half-time, and Roma lead by 2-0. Torosidis with the first, Keita with the second.
And I think they're just going to continue in the same vein. We've seen it a few times this week in Champions League football, where Manchester City have been so dominant and then all of a sudden have paid the price for the change that the opposition do. And I'm sure if Torino just showed a little bit more intent and effort going forward, they may, just may, at this stage of the game, they're still in it.
Let's hope that Farnerud hasn't suffered a recurrence of any knee problems. He tore his anterior cruciate ligament in April. He's played 118 minutes of football before tonight. He's gone off now. Garcia in midfield. And try and get going down their left-hand side straight away here. With Darmian pushed up. Kaddouri. Quagliarella. Matteo Darmian has done more in the opening seconds of the second half than he did in the entire first period.
I was just about to say, John, that's the first time I've seen him in possession of the ball for any period of time in this game.
He's come out wide again. Moretti. Quagliarella. Here is Darmian, talented player. Good cross in, decent ball. Kaddouri didn't really attack it. Bruno Perez. Here's the substitute. Just come on. Mino. Brighter.
Well, could they catch Roma cold? And almost with just a period of possession and a little bit more of ambition, and certainly from the cross, Kaddouri could have thrown himself at it, Jonathan. As that come across the 6-yard box, they might well have been back in this match.
Kaddouri, maybe a slightly deeper role for him, but Mino has a little bit more pace than Farnerud, that's for certain.
But it is a positive change. You've got to give Ventura credit for that.
The second substitution, that Nocerino having come on in the first half of Vives. And they're going to have a go. Mino. We need to see more of him. The 24-year-old was a success in the World Cup. Totti 14 years his senior. 700th game for Roma came against Torino last season.
But look where the pressure's coming from, much higher up the field right at the start of the second half. Exactly what you would expect. And the question now for Roma is, how do they deal with that? Can they play quickly? Can they pick up the intensity of the game?
Quagliarella on the right, Kaddouri in the middle. And the substitute, Mino, up there as well. Here's Totti. Decent enough block by the Polish international Glik. Oh, he turned his back on it. Here's Bruno Perez.
But still Totti with 3 yards of space, no one near him when the ball was played square into that central area.
Gazzi. Darmian. Quagliarella. Darmian, they're playing much better football here now, Torino. They take on Torosidis. Darmian. Not a good finish in the end.
Well, the substitutes completely missed what is a very, very good chance, and Darmian already in this second half twice venturing forward, getting high up the field and getting balls into that danger area. Mino with a really poor attempt at finishing it off, but already the signs are much brighter for Torino.
Totti doing the orchestrating, as he has done for 22 years in the first team. Glik started his football in Silesia in Poland, had a little spell at Real Madrid at one stage in the C team with the Polish centre-back. A curious route for him to Torino. Keita.
That's better from Torino. See how close they were around Totti. As soon as Roma are Keita's trying to feed the ball into Totti's feet, there's bodies around him, making it very difficult for him to get possession of the ball.
Beginning to snap and snarl. I wonder if Roma will bring on Nainggolan in the next 10 minutes or so. It's a decent enough ball, even the Quagliarella just cut out by Manolas, and there's his international teammate Torosidis. I think he was pulled then. Rossi. Pjanic. Rossi to switch it left. Saw the run of Ljajic. Tired sort of a pass though, that. Darmian. Handball.
Just taking it with the left arm. The referee was having none of it, and he was right on hand to see it as well.
Impressive, the referee. Yanga-Mbiwa. 48 games for Newcastle. A lot of games for Montpellier. With the Roma centre-half. He was a league title winner in 2012. Pjanic. Torosidis, the right back, pushed high on the near touchline. So do Keita. Totti. The ball around the corner looking for Ljajic. Bruno Perez. Manolas. Chance by Quagliarella. He's put in a decent shift, hasn't he? Really has.
Yep, it's a frustrating role on an evening like this when certainly chances are few and far between. And he's playing against Manolas, who has tracked him on every single occasion. It's a good contest between the two.
Good to see Torino back in the big time, though, after their financial peril of a few years back. Ljajic trying to get inside. But it's Torino who look the hungry at the moment. They've got a man over, Mino. Will come to Kaddouri. Roma have players back now. Keita got back quickly.
Yeah, and for 1 minute there was an opportunity for Torino on that counter-attack. It was only Keita's recovery run that managed to thwart the chance for Kaddouri to get the shot in on that right-hand side of the penalty box. But a much better intent about the way Torino have gone about this in the beginning of the second half.
63 years in Serie A in a row for Roma. They've just had one season outside the top flight. You'll be aware of their history, 3 times title winners, but The Grande Torino, one of the great Italian sides. Back in the 40s, they won a record 5 league titles in a row. They were the first Italian side ever to do the double. And, it all came to a horrific end with the terrible tragedy of May the 4th, 1949. On the way back from a friendly in Benfica before European competition, the plane crashed into the Basilica Superga on the hills overlooking Turin, and 31 people were killed. It's a tragedy that is remembered every year. Torosidis and Rossi just has that handy knack of being able to drop into space whenever he wants to find space. No pressure on him again. Pjanic. Kaddouri. Oh, now here's an opportunity. Bruno Perez getting forward well. Oh, he went for what? Was he going for goal, Clive? Was it a
I think he changed his mind, Jonathan, because he makes a great run, gets goal side of Ashley Cole, and at one point it looks like he was going to pull the trigger and fire the shot, and then he, I think at the last minute, decides to try to find Quagliarella centrally, and he just gets it completely wrong and splits the two. Doesn't hit the target, doesn't find his striker.
Keita, Gervinho, in front of Nicola Maksimovic. Oh, Gervinho to go a long way. De Rossi, back to the Ivorian. Maksimovic in front of him. Keep his eyes on the ball. Bruno Perez didn't, perhaps. Quick to get the ball away. Perez has stayed down.
Yeah, it was a tackle with Ashley Cole as the ball came out. Ooh, and Ashley's late there. He misses the ball. Certainly catches Perez down the right shin.
Gimpero, Ventura unimpressed.
But it's a Roma team that are playing in second gear at the beginning of this second half, Jonathan. Certainly Torino have upped the intensity, they've closed down, they've denied Roma the space that they had in that first half. They've put the extra player further forward, pressure higher up the field. And Rudy Garcia's just got one or two things to think about. With the score still at 2-0, he's far from over at the moment. And this was the chance. Perez getting the run on Ashley Cole. I just think he changes his mind right at the last second. Should I shoot? Should I find the cross? And in between, he feeds the ball through that 6-yard box in an area where no one can get on the end of it.
There is hobbling off. Saw a shot of the great Francesco Totti there, 6 times a league runner-up last season. They had such a terrific campaign, top for the opening 12 weeks. Record number of Serie A points, record number of league wins too. Second again this season, but they have the imperious Juventus to hound and to better, and that's going to be difficult. Very difficult.
Very difficult, yep. Yep, Juve, the team they're chasing. And even tonight's game is so important that they don't let that gap.
Here's a chance now there for Ljajic! It's 3! But it was a brilliant piece of skill from Totti that started it all. It was a wonderful, wonderful finish. It's Roma 3, Torino 0. Brilliant goal.
Yeah, that was a well-oiled machine, just changing up through the gears. And Rudy Garcia knows how important that third goal was tonight to probably seal this game. And what a finish from Ljajic, but the build-up was sensational. Pjanic feeds it to Ljajic, he cuts back onto his favoured right foot. As we can see, a brilliant strike into the top corner. A wonderful, wonderful goal from Roma. Pace and accuracy from the strike of Ljajic.
And on the halfway line, still down, not even sure whether he saw it. It was Totti, whose brilliant piece of skill there. The touch was rewarded with a real clump. but he started it all.
That's taking one for the team, Jonathan, isn't it? Drawing the two players to challenge him. He knows there's going to be contact, but he makes sure he just turns that ball into the path of Pjanic before he finds Ljajic. What a magnificent goal from Roma.
Gervinho. Ljajic. Trying to play it to Gervinho. I don't think there was a bit of any showboating there. I think he just genuinely tried to get it back to Gervinho. He had no other option.
Well, he thought he was in support of him, didn't he, Jonathan? And he's just the only way he could return that ball back into Gervinho's path was with the back heel.
Pjanic. And again. Manolas didn't like the challenge.
He's a big centre-half, Jonathan. He's OK, he's up, he's back.
Here's De Rossi. And you wonder whether Garcia will now be thinking about taking one or two of these off. Mind you, international break coming up. Gervinho. Pjanic. Torosidis. Gervinho. Mirren Pjanic. Ljajic. Totti the goal, the give and go. Lovely work. And in the end, clouted away. Darmian it was.
But what clever play again from Totti. On the wavelength of Ashley Cole. Little 1-2. The ball back, the run from Cole, the pass from Totti. Absolutely perfect to get him in behind the fullback.
Kaddouri, he hasn't played badly. Darmian. Looking for Quagliarella and away by Yanga-Mbiwa. They've had some decent performances. Bruno Perez has played well, Quagliarella.
You can see the quality that Darmian has as well, this second half in particular. We saw, again, that little touch. It's the faintest of touches from Totti, but it makes the big difference. It springs Pjanic into space before he makes the pass to Ljajic for the third goal.
Confirmation the referee went back and cautioned Glik. Keita's down here on the hour. Nothing much in that, Clive.
No, it's just a late challenge again. They keep showing Totti. That's bravery, Jonathan. That's when we talk about players being brave. He's on the ball, he knows there's going to be a challenge, but he still makes sure he gets the faintest of touches before drawing that foul.
Yeah, the referee was talking to there was Alessandro Gazzi, but it was a yellow for Glik. Glik never beaten Roma. Neither is Maksimovic nor Gillet, the goalkeeper. So the list goes on. Relatively new back into top-flight football, of course.
It's going to take something special to change that tonight, Jonathan, the way that Roma have gone about this. And still, for me, they'd probably have a gear or two that they could change up into as well.
Less than 20 years ago, Torino were declared bankrupt. That was the end of it. Urbano Cairo, when the club was reborn, bought it up and bankrolled the return to Serie A. A bit yo-yo for a while. Spent over €1 million in buying back the old trophies and memorabilia. Manolas playing with a cigar on, as I think you old pros sometimes say.
Yeah, a really accomplished performance, defensive performance again from Manolas. Looks very, very comfortable at the heart of that defence.
Here's Ashley Cole. Touched by Pjanic. He's played well. Difficult to fault a Roma player, really. Gervinho. He's given away the free kick.
To the derision of the crowd, because they think that Gervinho plays the ball, but he actually kicks the back of Kaddouri's right boot there. And the referee's been very, very consistent, Jonathan. He's made good decisions, good sound decisions, time and time again.
Gazzi, Quagliarella. Bruno Perez. He's staying wide, Bruno Perez, in case it can come out. Nocerino played it through to the edge of the box. De Rossi away, I should say. Can they look for Kaddouri?
And De Rossi again, Jonathan. You talk about that positional sense that he has. Look at him working to pick people up and then shuffle across to stop the passing avenues into the front players. A lot of work that goes unnoticed.
Glik. Moretti. Gazzi. Quagliarella. Flag stays down. Mino. Good combination with Quagliarella. Try and slip it through there. Darmian. He's offside this time.
Yeah, Darmian just crept into that offside position. He was waiting for the pass. He needed it a little bit earlier from Quagliarella, although it's a close one. But there's that man, Manolas, again in the right position, defending in the right position. That's the earlier booking, Jonathan. Before we can see the Roma players celebrating, but the referee, once the ball had actually gone into the back of the net, went and booked the Glik for the challenge on Totti.
Keita, terrific engine on him. He's 30 years of age now. He's at his 9th club. Gervinho. Totti. Torosidis. Again, a little bit too tight to the line. Here's Keita. Manolas. Totti. Trying to get it back to Torosidis. Darmian was there and he used the ball particularly well. Gone back into his shell. Glik comes and gathers. Totti. Tried the chip for Gervinho.
Just brilliant the way he saw the run. As the ball was bouncing, he's actually had a look before it was set to him from Keita. He can sense that Gervinho's taking off. As soon as it's there, left foot tries to chip it over the back of that Torino defence.
He'll have a 6th goal of his career against Torino himself. Totti. Ljajic. The Torosidis, who've both been on the score sheet tonight. Good challenge on Totti that time. On Sanchez, Mino. Here's Gazzi. Kaddouri. Seen early that by Sanctis.
Yeah, very good goalkeeping. Timing in the way that he leaves his 6-yard box to intercept the forward pass. Takes the pressure off the back four.
50th game for the club, the Italian international. Not conceded a home goal this season. Here's Gervinho. I thought he just slowed Bruno Perez down, then he was going to kick up again, but it didn't happen.
Well, Perez is quick. He's shown that he's got pace tonight on a number of runs, especially the one with Ashley Cole.
Ljajic. Totti's latest contract gave him a role at the club when it all finishes for him in the next 18 months. But you wouldn't bet against him going on.
I was just going to say, Jonathan, he could play on forever against Torino. The space and time that they've they've given him this evening. He's enjoying himself, you can see out there, and instrumental in everything that Roma's done tonight.
Just over 20 minutes to go. Destro's waiting to come on. Here's Keita.
That urgency and energy has, I think, just been drained out of Torino with that third goal from Ljajic. Just over 20 minutes to go.
They've beaten Fiorentina here, and Cagliari, Verona, Chievo, Cesena. All without conceding a goal. Here's De Rossi. First touch wasn't great, but there was no pressure on him. Keita around the corner. De Rossi, give and go with Gervinho. Totti on the edge of the box, he wants it. And in the end it crashed away off Camel Glik for the corner, and Gervinho acknowledges that should have done better.
Yeah, and Totti turns away in disgust because he actually wanted that pass a fraction before Gervinho looked up. And just by Gervinho looking up to try to find Totti, it delayed it a split second. And the great man just felt that had it been delivered earlier, he had a great chance.
And he'd be replaced by Matteo Destro. Glik has been protesting his booking, because he said to the referee it wasn't him, the guy that got Totti in the build-up to that third goal.
Yep, I think a case of mistaken identity. But what a performance from this man. He's hero worshipped, and again he's shown what great class he has.
Well, they know he's one of them. He stood on the terraces. He supported the club from the Curva Sud. Made his debut in September 1993 as a 16-year-old. De Rossi was in there.
That's how far back that was, Jonathan. I was still playing then, 93. Coming to the end of my career, though.
He's really played well tonight.
And look how delighted with him Rudy Garcia is, because he knows he's played a massive part in this victory for Roma this evening.
He modelled himself on another great, terrific Roma player, the Prince of Roma, Giuseppe Giannini. He was a good player in his time. Totti is the idol of many now. And that young man may well be Ljajic if he continues to score goals like he has tonight. It was a terrific third goal. Torosidis the first after 8 minutes. Keita with a drive from the edge of the box for 2-0. And here's the Greek fullback, Torosidis himself. But not only has he stopped Matteo Darmian coming forward, he's caused real problems for Italy's fullback going the other way.
Yep, he's done a fantastic job there, because Darmian from the early stages of the game showed he was going to get forward, but Torosidis has dealt with him very well.
Bruno Perez. Well, that's a decent effort, and it's got to be a corner, hasn't it? The goal line official didn't even look.
But the strike goes in, and obviously it's what, a yard over the line. He drags it back this side, but as you say, the official was standing not more than 2 yards away, and it was as if he didn't signal, didn't give the referee any idea what had happened. Incredible.
Yeah, Bruno Perez shoots over this time. That was wayward. This is a decent effort from him.
It was, and the goalkeeper to make sure he covered it. Perez has definitely been the bright spark in this Torino team this evening. He's possessed the biggest threat for them.
And they're going to have to change things again if they're going to get back into this. Won by Gazzi. And though they're heading for a win 6 in 6 at home this season, they'll be gutted if they concede a goal. Roma, here they go, looking for a fourth. Gervinho, Destro on the edge of the box. Wasn't a fluent touch, maybe a little bit rusty. Not quite at the pace of the game, the substitute yet. And he's fouled his man now.
Yeah, and the foul comes out of frustration because Destro knows that ball played into his feet. He's in the penalty box. It's a chance for him to manipulate the ball to get a shot away, or at least supply a pass to someone supporting him. Maybe just caught a little cold there, Jonathan, as he's come into this game for Totti.
11 goals in his last 20 games. Had a very good scoring run on the way to the cup final. In the Italian Cup final in 2013, they were beaten. Yanga-Mbiwa. Keita looking for, well, we've just been talking about, Destro. Nocerino hasn't really got into the game. Came on in the first half. Gazzi. Forward from Moretti. Free kick to Torino.
He can't quite believe it, Manolas, because he's just saying to the referee, well, all I'm doing is getting tight, closing down, as I have done all evening long.
As Torino haven't been doing all evening long, standing off the likes of Totti and Rossi, Keita. Here's Gazzi, who has put in a decent shift. Sanchez, Mino. Bruno Perez. Here's the substitute, Mino again.
And for as comfortable as they are, Roma, there's no doubt that Rudy Garcia will not want to concede a goal. He wants this no goals against kept intact.
Now Kaddouri on the outside. No real conviction with the cross. Torosidis went with him. I think he's been in trouble with that put in this second half.
No real conviction was there to whip that ball back. You keep it in play. As Garcia's going to introduce Nainggolan now.
Well, he was troubled enough, Kaddouri, to go off. Nainggolan's going to come on for Roma. Martinez has come on. Joseph Martinez, the Venezuelan. Manolas, I think you spotted in the first half he had a bit of a knock.
Yeah, it was that crunching tackle that happened just before half-time on the edge of the Roma box, and he sort of limped out of that and subsequently limped out of the first half at half-time, and I just felt that he wasn't 100%, and obviously that's just playing him up a little now, so they have the luxury with a 3-0 advantage to introduce Nainggolan for him.
Roma 3, Torino 0. Lazio against Juventus after the international break. Saturday the 22nd of November, the leaders at Lazio, the reigning champions. Atalanta next up for Roma, same weekend for you, 5:15 on the Saturday. Torino against Sassuolo on Sunday the 23rd in the morning. As Glik gets it away, then the Milanese derby for you on Sunday the 23rd. And football returns after the international break to Serie A. Gillet thought he kept it in. But yeah, I think he's got a very good case again, right in front of the goal line. Referee.
He might not be able to see it there, Jonathan. He's too close to the situation.
Torosidis. Ljajic. Now, he should know. I think he's just making his mind up, Clive, the assistant down there by the goal where this is out. Hawkeye.
But does he have something to signal? He must have something to signal the referee that there's some sort of infringement or the ball has gone. De Rossi has just slipped into the back four now to play alongside Mbiwa with Manolas going out the game.
Nainggolan on, you can see him there, number 4 with the mohawk hair. Pjanic, back to Keita, here's Nainggolan. He's a regular in the side. Rossi. Ashley Cole. Martinez the substitute closing. And a remarkable career, Ashley Cole. Winner of 2 titles with Arsenal, winner of 2 titles with Chelsea, the Champions League. Most capped English fullback. And I think for a long while, one of England's few world-class players.
I totally agree with you, Jonathan, and you don't win major awards like that and have longevity unless you are a top player, as Ashley Cole has certainly been over the years.
Gervinho towards Nainggolan, and Pjanic got caught there.
And there's the right back there again. He's up, he's in the opponent's penalty box. Yeah, naughty late challenge there on Pjanic. Just pure frustration, I think, from the Torino players now.
I think it was Nocerino, and it would have been the first in the game. And Sanchez Mino came on earlier. The 28, it's a bit of a curate's egg of a performance. Not quite sure where he was sent on to play club. There he is closing on Nainggolan. Quagliarella. Martinez in the middle, played in behind him, not a good ball. Ashley Cole has time.
But De Rossi just got something on that cross, Jonathan, otherwise it was in the path. Good defending.
Mino. Again, there's just no great belief about them.
Exactly, no belief, and they're certainly not been clinical with the half chances that they have created. And there's a coach who is really frustrated, I think frustrated with the performance of his team tonight. Showed early signs, but crumbled away badly as soon as Roma took the lead.
It took the game to Roma in the opening 5 or 6 minutes, but that goal from Torosidis after 8 minutes undermined everything. And Ashley Cole getting forward now. And with Gervinho, he's offside, I would think. But he's got on. He's seen the flag now.
But what vision from Ashley Cole. And Gervinho didn't need to stray offside. Good defending. The left back does step up as he sees Gervinho just wandering into that offside position. Nice finish at the end of it, but it's not going to count.
He has found his finishing composure at Roma, although most of his goals have come here. Of his 16, 13 of them at this ground. And at that composure at Arsenal. I know he used to frustrate Arsenal fans by straying offside. 3-0, 9 minutes to go. Roma delighted to have Strootman back on the bench after his long period away. Dutch international. Went to Euro 2012, didn't play, would have gone to World Cup 14. And he picked up the knee injury in March. Nainggolan. Keita goes off, I would think. So a terrific game. And one very good midfield player who's always been underrated for me goes off. And this is a hero's welcome for the returning Kevin Strootman.
Well, he scored some thunderous goals last season and he has been missed, and So unfortunate to pick up the injury when he did just before the run-in and run-up to the World Cup. But great to see him back on the field of play.
6 goals last season in his first season at Roma, after the big move from PSV Eindhoven. Pjanic lost out. Nainggolan. Torosidis are waiting on the right-hand side. Pjanic. Nainggolan. Back to him.
There's a lot of very tired Torino defenders who just can't quite get close enough to the ball now.
He had to react quicker than he would have wanted to. Darmian. Quagliarella. Still willing to work. Pjanic. And Rossi. Strootman. And the Roma fans respond.
What a great feeling that must be when you've been out with a serious injury and you've had to work tirelessly with the physios, the rehabilitation, just to come back on and get the touch of the ball and get that support and the feeling from the crowd as well.
Shows what an impact he made in a relatively short time at the club as well last season.
Oh yeah, they saw the ability that he has, and as I say, scored some spectacular goals last season.
Quagliarella.
It was tame, Jonathan, wasn't it? There was no fierceness about the strike. He's almost chipped it into the hands of the goalkeeper, Sanctis, who easily accepts it.
Over 30 shots this season, Quagliarella. I thought Keita was, as he came on, was feeling the back of his thigh. The next game is at Atalanta. And you can see here Strootman's return timely then if Keita's picked up a bit of a problem. They have plenty of options in there though.
I think that's always more of a precaution when players leave the field of play. Invariably they're icing down some sort of ailment that they might have. Let's not forget he was involved in the game in Munich during the week as well.
And he played at Napoli last weekend. Here's at Nainggolan. Gervinho through the middle now. Destro to the right-hand side. Cole, Nainggolan. Down the corner from Pjanic. Gazzi. And Matteo Darmian. Moretti. Nocerino. Bruno Perez. Mino turning it back to no one in particular. Yanga-Mbiwa. That's very curious.
I don't know what he see, because there wasn't a Roma player within 15 yards of the area that he put the ball into. He was trying to prick out coach Rudy Garcia, but it was a really poor pass from the centre-half.
Rossi alongside him now, has played there before, has played for Italy, of course, before the Euro finals. The defensive role. Nocerino. Stuffing knocked out of Torino long ago. Gazzi. And Sanchez, Mino. Rossi got the wrong side, he's pulled his man back. Quagliarella should get a yellow for this.
Yeah, he's tried to win the ball in front. Quagliarella does well, twists and turns away. The shirt pull from De Rossi. I think the referee, just for a split second, tried to play an advantage. But is this the opportunity, the one chance for Torino before this game ends to break this fantastic defensive record that Roma have.
Use the magic spray this time. He didn't use one in the first half. He's gone back the right distance. Quagliarella. It would be a mere consolation, but for his first half efforts, and the fact that he's plugged away, he deserves something. You won't get it though.
Well, he maybe deserves something, but unfortunately we can see here, strikes way underneath the ball, always going to be rising, never coming down in time to trouble the Sanctis in the Roma goal.
It wasn't a good free kick. The wily old coach of Torino knows that. Gianpiero Ventura, his own playing career cut short by a back injury in his mid-20s. Pjanic to Nainggolan, Ashley Cole advancing. He's been very clear in his advice to players in the UK to go abroad and experience another culture, and he's here on the edge of the box, and he came through to Ashley Cole. Here's Nainggolan, Torosidis. You see Ashley Cole on a night like this, Clive, and you think he can go on and on and on, but then remember what Bayern Munich did to him a few weeks ago. Ljajic didn't get a shout.
But I do make him right, the comments he made. I experienced it myself at the latter end of my career going to play in France, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world, Jonathan. Fantastic experience, not just on the football field.
Got back there. Ashley Cole, box to box, at the age of 35. Not bad.
Jonathan,
were you box to box at Bordeaux?
No, I'd stayed in the penalty box and around it.
And didn't do a bad job there, as Tottenham fans remember, particularly for that unremarkable season.
But Jonathan, when you see games like tonight, the tempo and the way that Roma have controlled this particular encounter, Ashley Cole can play for many, many years, I think, here.
Well, Maicon is an example of that, isn't he? You know, he struggled when he was at Manchester City. He had a knee injury, though, to be fair, but he's in his, what is he now, Maicon? 33, I think. And back to Italian football, settled again. Here's Gervinho, stoppage time. Oh, what a great touch by him. A little bit off balance. Lovely ball.
Pjanic feeding the ball down that channel for Gervinho. He just completely gets it wrong. Tries to control with the right. Comes off of his left knee and out for the goal kick.
Bruno Perez. Rossi gets the touch. And again, no pressure on Strootman. And a little niggly tackle on Pjanic. And I think Quagliarella is saying here, get a message to the coach driver, start the motor, get the engine running, get us out of here.
Yeah. A quick hot shower in the bus and away we go. There's nothing for us here tonight in Rome.
Nainggolan. Ljajic is there with him. Torosidis, who started it all in the opening 10 minutes. And goes through one powder puff challenge and looks for Gervinho, offside.
That was close, Jonathan. Just straying, just that yard offside as the ball's clipped over the top of that Torino defence once again.
Free kick, Rossi on Quagliarella.
That's only the 10th time, referee, that's happened. I think it was expected, Jonathan. It was probably expected result, but Roma had to go about it in the right way.
And they have done, and they've won 3-0, and they're back to within 3 points of Juventus, the big 7-0 winners over Parma earlier on. 3-0, the win for Rudy Garcia's side against Torino here tonight. Convincing, virtually